welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something a bit different. I am a massive conspiracy theory fanatic. I love them. I wanted to do like a sit down chatty conspiracy theory type video, but I'm going to do my makeup at the same time. It's going to be chill, it's going to be fun. Hopefully this video isn't too long. I'll try and not take forever, but no promises. Let's just get started. Put my trusty cat ears on. Oh, we're squinting. Cute. We're just gonna get rid of that though. I'm not gonna go too in depth about the makeup side of this video, purely because I want the main focus of this video to be the conspiracy theory, more like sort of going in depth and talking about that. I will list below in the description all the products that I have used just in case anyone's interested, but like my makeup's not fancy or anything, like it's nothing special. So today we're going to talk about the theory that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. I'm just going to get started on my primer here. I know that this theory has obviously been really well spoken about. It's been all over the internet recently, and it is honestly one of my favourite theories to talk about. I don't know if this particular theory is spoken about a lot, however I have seen it on Twitter and I've seen people on podcasts talking about it. So onto foundation. For those of you who don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, if there's anyone out there that's not quite sure, Jeffrey Epstein was born on the January 20th in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. He started out as a teacher and a financier, and then started the Jeffrey Epstein Sixth Foundation. He was a very rich guy, had his own private island and stuff, things that people like me dream of. It all started back in 2005, where Florida police started an investigation on Jeffrey Epstein after they received a complaint from a parent that her 14-year-old daughter had been sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein. He actually pleaded guilty for that. He only served 13 months for that, and then he was out of jail. He was arrested again in July 2019 for sex trafficking of minors in Florida and New York. He then died in his jail cell on August the 10th, 2019, and that's where the theory begins. So it all started when a couple of girls came out and said that Jeffrey Epstein was paying them to go around and give him massages. So these were around the age of 14 to 15. They were all underage girls and had been approached and offered money to massage Jeffrey. And we're talking like couple $100, and that kind of amount of money to a 14-year-old is a lot of money. So most of them really thought nothing of it, and Jeffrey offered them more money to recruit like friends. It's like, I'll pay you if you come and do this. So they'd get paid extra if they brought their friends. Jeffrey Epstein is also known for having a private jet, which him and a lot of famous people used to actually take trips on with some of these young girls that Jeffrey had recruited. I don't think anyone really knows what happens on the plane. No one really knows what happens in the air. I have tried doing my digging, but there's just theories that it was sort of the same sort of stuff, exploiting these young girls. When you're in the air in a private jet, it's easier to get away with things. And that's why I think that this whole plane and private jet situation and the travelling was kept so secretive and did manage to go on for such a long time. So Jeffrey would also take celebrities up onto these planes and almost like sell these young girls to these older men. I'm not entirely sure about who all travelled with Jeffrey in his private jet, but there is several names that have come out about who he'd travelled with several times on his private plane. Whether or not there was the young girls there, I'm not sure. It hasn't been proven yet. Again, there's really not a lot of evidence on this stuff. So a few people that Jeffrey was actually involved with, some close friends, people that he'd travelled with. Again, there's not much proof that these people really did a lot wrong. However, these were people that were very closely involved with Jeffrey Epstein himself. There was Les Wexner, who is an L Brand CEO. Donald Trump and his family were very close friends with Jeffrey Epstein and his partner Ghislaine Maxwell at the time. often seen pictured together, conversating in public, emailing, texting back and forth and stuff. It has been proven that Bill Clinton has travelled with Jeffrey Epstein several times on his private jet back in 2002 and 2003. The actor Kevin Spacey and comedian Chris Tucker also travelled with Jeffrey Epstein on his private jet several times. Kevin Spacey was also charged with sexual assault allegations. That case got dropped because there wasn't enough evidence. That was a couple of years ago. We also have Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew was a very close friend of Jeffrey Epstein and travelled with him several times on his private jet as well. There's also several other celebrities such as Barack Obama, Naomi Campbell, the model, that's in his phone records and in his phone book. I will put the link to his little black book, phone book, in the description for you all to have a read through and see some familiar names. Some of them might actually shock you. Again, it's not been proved that any of these people were involved in any of the stuff that Jeffrey did, but Jeffrey was so well known for his private jet getaways and the hiring of these young girls that most people were shocked to find out that anyone would want to be in contact with that sort of person if they weren't somewhat involved. Now, I don't want to get sued or anything. I'm not saying that any of these people are involved in any of this. Hasn't been proven physically. But again, there's a lot of speculation as to why you would be friends with someone that is very well known for that sort of stuff, you know? Disaster! Dropping everything. I'm boiling. So, when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and charged with the sex trafficking of minors back in July 2019, he was put into a prison cell by himself, and an incident happened in the cell where the guards and the prison officers then decided to put Jeffrey Epstein on a suicide watch. There was guards outside Jeffrey's cell that were supposed to be checking in every half an hour or so. I've lost my brush. So basically these guards are sitting and manning Jeffrey's cell, and they're sitting there constantly to make sure that nothing bad or like an incident happens, and they're also physically checking on Epstein every 30 minutes. This was happening for a few weeks, allegedly, that he was on suicide watch for. However, it came out that it was only just less than a week. So what happened was Jeffrey was found by one of the guards hanging from his bunk bed in his cell. Now, the first thing that seems a bit off to me is the fact that bunk beds aren't tall enough for a 6'1" man to hang from, and this was proven by one of the guards and the coroners that inspected the room, that the bunk beds weren't quite tall enough for a 6-foot man to actually hang from and feet not touch the floor. So that was the first thing that seemed a little bit off to me. The second thing that seemed a little bit off to me was when the autopsy was done on Jeffrey's body, the marks around his neck resembled something of like a cord or a cable. It was a thin cable sort of mark that had been left on his neck, and the prison guard that originally found Jeffrey had stated that he was hanging via his jumpsuit, which a jumpsuit is, if you were to wrap it round, it's a lot thicker than a small cord. So that was another thing that seemed off to a lot of people, that how would you get something like that wrong? The guards that were on Jeffrey's suicide watch that night in the prison have been charged with falsifying records and actually not checking up on him as much as they should have. One of them was sleeping and the other one was doing online shopping on his phone. So they've both been charged for that. I'm not sure of the outcome of that or if they ever went to prison themselves. I couldn't really find much info on that. However, they both have been charged, which I think is a good thing, because I don't understand how you could miss something like that if you're sitting outside someone's cell. One of the main theories behind Jeffrey Epstein's death is that someone was ordered to kill him. The day after Jeffrey Epstein's death was the day he was actually going to testify in court against others that he had been involved with in the private jet incidents and in the massaging incidents in his house. So a lot of people believe that one of the higher up people, maybe somebody that I've mentioned that he was involved with, that they were scared that their reputation was going to get ruined and had ordered somebody to just get rid of him before they got in trouble themselves. Scary stuff. So because it's only a theory that people think someone was scared that Jeffrey Epstein was going to out them and he was ordered to kill, obviously there's no proof of this. However, a lot of the bigger people that he was involved with have their suspicions too. Donald Trump came out as well and said that he reckons that somebody was scared that they were going to get in trouble during Epstein's testifying in court. So he also believes that someone was after Jeffrey. But again, as the President of the United States, if you believe that information, you should have investigations going, but who am I to judge? So after Jeffrey Epstein had passed and the autopsy came out, it was ruled as a suicide by hanging. And this is where everyone started looking into it and came up with these theories that they think he was ordered to kill. Some photos got released from the autopsy. The autopsy was performed by someone called Dr. Baden, who, after the autopsy came out to local news such as Sky News, The Sun, Daily Mail, etc., and provided a statement. And his statement included that Jeffrey's neck was broken in 3 places. Dr. Baden included that a broken neck in 3 different places has never been seen before in a suicide by hanging. Dr. Baden also thinks that all the evidence points to a homicide by strangling. The photos came out. I'm not going to post them just because some of them are quite graphic, but if you're wanting to see that for yourself, you can find them online. I'll try and find a link and pop them down below, but I don't want to pop them in the video just because I know some people don't like stuff like that, and yeah, I think it's up to you if you want to go and visit that. So the pictures show the markings on his neck, including the neck fractures. There's x-rays of the neck fractures that Dr. Baden took. There is also pictures of burst blood vessels in his face, bruised and cut lips, severe bruising around the wrists, and grazes all over his arms. Now, to me, if this man was strangled, all of those injuries lead more to a strangling and also look like he could have been struggling. Like with the marks around the wrists, if someone was holding him and he was trying to get away, same with the grazing on the arms and the burst lip. I don't understand how you would get a burst lip from a hanging, whereas if you're struggling to get away from someone, those marks make sense. So when I said that the mark around Jeffrey's neck resembled a sort of cord or a cable, some people were wondering where's someone going to get that in their own prison cell. You know, there's nothing like that in a prison cell. Jeffrey Epstein actually had a sleep apnea monitor in his cell, as he had sleep apnea. He suffered from that. So he had a monitor in his room that recorded his sleep apnea and stuff. So the prison guards could keep an eye on him, he could keep an eye on himself. So it's believed that someone had unplugged this machine and used the cable from that, and then had framed it to be a suicide by then tying him up with his own jumpsuit. There is also pictures of his cell. Again, it's not that graphic, but I'll post links down to that below so that you can go and look at it for yourself. But there is pictures of his cell where it is full of bed sheets, orange bed sheets and jumpsuits, and that would be fit for several people, even though he'd been in a cell by himself. So some people thought that was a bit sketchy too. Some more injuries that Jeffrey had sustained that were discovered in the autopsy, as he'd had a hemorrhage on his left shoulder, which again would indicate more of a struggle rather than a hanging. A close source to the family, who hasn't been named, which obviously makes sense for privacy reasons and stuff, made a statement to the Sun newspaper and Sky News to say that they also believe that this was an order to kill and that someone was scared for their future and their reputation because of Jeffrey due to testify against certain people the next day. Again, Jeffrey had never come out and said who he was testifying against, so nobody really knows who would have been the ones to do this. However, their theories that it was either Donald Trump or the royal family, but again, that's another video altogether. Oh, well, that's not ideal. Either way, we'll fix it. Oh, that is tragic. That is tragic. Why are my eyebrows so bad? That's a block. I don't think my eyebrows ever looked like that in my life. Okay, I'll do. Eyebrow isn't looking the best, but you know what, it'll do before I end up spending half an hour on it. I'm not going to do anything too crazy on the eyes today, purely because effort. So I was watching a podcast by Jack Mate the other day, and he had his friend Jordan on that went really in depth to this theory, and it's what sparked my interest around this whole thing. I have linked it down below obviously if you want to go and see it, but he speaks a lot more in depth about how the royal family might have been involved in this. I would have addressed this, but there is so much that it's literally a whole other video in itself. One thing again that was really sketchy about this whole theory is when this actually was going on and Jeffrey was on suicide watch, the prison officers had checked the CCTV to see what had actually happened. Obviously with the investigation going on and they needed truth, the first thing that they did was try and get the security footage of that night to see if Jeffrey had actually committed suicide by hanging. There was a camera in his cell pointing, pretty much showing the whole room, and there was a camera just outside the cell where you could see the gate and you could see one of the officers sitting outside. There is footage on both of those cameras for the whole night, apart from when Jeffrey Epstein had died. One of the cameras, the footage had been deleted, and the other camera, the footage had corrupted. Now, I don't know about you guys, but something about that seems a little bit sketch, especially with the theory that someone higher up is involved in this that was scared for their reputation. They would definitely have the power to erase that footage before anyone tried to see it, such as the royal family. I'm thinking about doing a video on the royal family and all the theories about them, so if you'd like to see that, just comment down below and let me know, because it really fascinates me as well and I love talking about conspiracy theories. So yeah, the footage was gone. Most people, I think, do believe that this is the royal family or Donald Trump, and I don't want to get into any legal trouble or sued for talking about this on the internet because everyone's talking about it, it's a theory. But Prince Andrew was one of the people that was very close friends with Jeffrey at the time. Sorry, I'm trying not to do my eyeshadow face. Yeah, Prince Andrew was one of the people that was very close friends with Jeffrey Epstein at the time, and has been spoke about a lot recently in mainstream news about being a bit of a paedophile. Not much has been proved on this again. However, it would make sense that one of these princes is close friends with Jeffrey that has been all over the mainstream news recently for being accused of sexual assault claims and being a paedophile, for him to get scared that one of the most powerful and rich men on the planet is going to out him in court. So I think that's where most people's heads are at surrounding if Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, who did. My theory, I'm 90% sure that Jeffrey didn't kill himself, and it takes 5 minutes of research on the internet for you to find all of this out. Where's my mascara? Oh, I've lost... So it takes 5 minutes, a Google search, to find all of this information. It's not hidden, it's not private, it's not quiet anywhere. Oh my god. When Jeffrey Epstein passed in August the 10th, 2019, there was a massive uproar when all of this evidence came out and all of these theories and stuff came out. But then it sort of died down relatively quick. I remember seeing it all over the news for about a week or two, and then I remember just seeing nothing until Anonymous came along. I stan Anonymous, you should all stan Anonymous too. So basically they came out on Twitter not that long ago with a bunch of evidence. I'm gonna put some links down in the description for you to have a read through if you are interested, because I don't want to bore you with stuff if you don't want to hear about it. But they came out on Twitter with a bunch of receipts, tea, the whole shebang. They delivered, okay? And basically one of the first things they did was they posted Jeffrey Epstein's phone book onto Twitter. The phone book I was speaking about earlier is going to be in the description, and this caused a ginormous outroar with some names being on this phone book. Again, click on that link in the description, have a read through. Some people on that list will shock you. It's quite scary, but it almost seems like a lot of celebrities are involved in dodgy shit like this. So I was surprised to see quite a few names on there. Again, I wasn't surprised to see some of them, such as Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, and as they have been spoken about before, alongside Jeffrey Epstein. So when Anonymous posted that, there was a big uproar and people were losing their minds. And they kept posting, and one of the things they oh, are you kidding me? Ignore it, I'll fix it. So when Anonymous had posted this phone book, everyone freaked out. It went viral all over Twitter, Facebook, everything. And they kept posting, and one of the things that really stood out to me was a file. It was like a bunch of documents from a court case that Jeffrey Epstein had been involved in, and he was involved in this court case with Donald Trump. There was chat about Donald Trump being a paedophile and being involved in some things with underage girls, and it's not nice to read through. It is very graphic, hence why I don't want to talk about it on here in case I upset some people, because I know I got upset reading it. However, this court case proved that Donald Trump had been involved with underage people on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet and several other occasions. So that came out, and again, I'm not sure why, but it got spoken about for 2 days, and then off the internet it went, and nobody was really bothered about it anymore, which I don't know if it was just one of those things that people were excited for it when it first came out and then it died down, or if it was forced off the internet by some powerful people, you know? I can't look at this anymore. Oh my god, I'm scared. Why does this happen? Are you kidding me? This better do something. Are you serious? Something always goes wrong. Something always goes bloody wrong. So when Anonymous had come out about that, I don't think Donald Trump had actually acknowledged what had happened, as what Anonymous had posted completely blew up to the extent that he 100% seen this, didn't acknowledge it, and then it was sort of just gone from the internet. Goddamn mascara. Jeffrey Epstein's partner at the time, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I think it's Ghislaine Maxwell. She has been heavily involved in all of this. She was there when the recruiting of girls for the massages in the house was going on, and these massages were 9 AM, 12 PM, 2 PM, 5 PM, 8 PM, like several a day. And Ghislaine was always there, and there has been some suspicion that she was his mistress almost as well. Some people call it a madam. So she would always greet these young girls at the door, bring them in, make them feel welcome. Sometimes she would get involved in the inappropriate acts that were taking part in the house. She would be there for the girls a lot, which I would say is mental abuse, what she did. She almost made these little girls realise that what they were doing wasn't a bad thing. She made them feel comfortable, she made them feel secure, she made them feel welcome when they'd come to the house. And it's all just a bit creepy, if you ask me. Like, I really don't like it, and I think there is something a lot more dangerous going on. And I don't think he killed himself. I'm gonna put some lip gloss on to finish. Lovely. That concludes this video and this makeup look. I think that's probably the quickest I've ever done my makeup. What is going on? I think that's probably the quickest I've ever done my makeup, ever. But I have decided I really like this style of video. Filming, doing my makeup, talking about things that interest me. There's a lot more conspiracy theories I actually want to address and talk about in depth on this channel, such as the royal family, Princess Diana, Pizzagate being a big one. And if you don't know what Pizzagate is, oh my god, you need to do your research. This shit will blow your mind. COVID-19 being another one. There's a lot of theories behind that too. So if you like this style of video, just let me know and we'll get working on some new theories and we'll talk about some new theories and stuff. Sorry it's a bit of a boring makeup look today, but it's horrible weather outside. I'm not really feeling like going crazy because I'm not doing much today anyway. However, in the next one, if you want to see more of an intense makeup look, or if you want it to be more makeup focused than theory focused, we'll do some makeup videos. However, I have loved this style of video and I have loved talking to you guys about my favourite theories. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe please, because it really helps me out a lot. Leave your ideas for some theories and that down in the comments, or leave video ideas down in the comments, because I'm always looking for some, you know. But thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Hellcat.